Hey, today I want us to look at a passage of Scripture in Mark chapter 4, starting in verse 35. And it's a story of Jesus and his disciples on a boat. And this is what it says. That day when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also some other boats that were with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to the disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this then, who even the wind and the waves obey him?" You know, the reality is we're either in a storm, we're getting ready to go into a storm, or we're coming out of a storm. And there are very few storms that affect us as much as the storm of insomnia. All of us struggle sometimes to go to bed at night. In fact, there is nothing that is more tiring than a sleepless night, except maybe a night in which you worry yourself to the point where you can't sleep. And Jesus, in this story, what's so fascinating is that here comes a storm and everyone else is kind of freaking out, and the Scripture tells us that Jesus was asleep on his cushion. In other words, he was just laying down on the pillow. He wasn't worried, he wasn't scared. But each night when we go to bed at night, sometimes there's so many things that are going through our mind that it's difficult for us to sleep. And if you struggle with that, and we all do at some point, the greatest thing you can do is pull away and spend some time in prayer. To be able to just stop and say, "God, I really need your help right now. I need some sleep. I'm so exhausted. Please help me get a good night's rest." You know, Rick Warren often says that the most spiritual thing that you can do is take a nap, to get some good sleep. And if you're one of those people right now, don't feel guilty about it, but get some rest. Because once you're rested, then you can work at impacting God's world in a greater way than when you're exhausted.
Mercy in the soil, mercy in the sun.